Hello everyone, this is part 37 of What If Naruto Was in Rosario Vampire, and I hope you guys enjoy this video and to like, to subscribe, to share, and check out the playlist. To see more, comment down below. Now let's start the intro.
They call me a god. They call me a god. They call me a god.
Join my membership, the perks are great. It's in the description. Be sure to like and subscribe, it gives me more motivation. Enjoy. You know this isn't what I had in mind, Naruto said. He was currently trapped in a sphere of energy with the headmaster looking on. On the floor around him were 6 unconscious men in black uniforms. Well, you did attack my guards, the headmaster pointed out. I didn't kill them, and anyway they attacked me first. After you broke into my home. I walked in through the front door. I'm in a rush. I'm not going to waste time asking for a meeting. All I want is to talk, now let me go or I am going to get really pissed off. The headmaster let out a weary sigh. You should learn to be more polite with people, Naruto, your results might improve. The sphere around him vanished. Yeah, well, my experience is that politeness works a whole lot better when you're someone who can tear a castle down. Listen, headmaster, I need some information. Yes, I believe this is what you have come for. The man in the white robes held out a manila folder to him. Naruto took it from him and opened it. It was Mocha's school file. He looked at the headmaster suspiciously. How did you know? I know a great many things, Naruto. He declined to say anything more. Whatever, he muttered. Naruto looked back at the file. There's nothing in here but her transiests. There's no home address or anything about her family. That information was never provided and we do not require it for admittance. Naruto looked at him. And before you ask it, I will not assist you in finding her family's location. Why not? Naruto demanded. All I am trying to do is rescue my wife. I have my reasons, Naruto, the headmaster said. The goal of this academy is to engender peace and coexistence between yokai and human. Wherever possible, we try to avoid conflict. Were I to give you the information you seek, the consequences could be dire. If by that you mean I might do some king, you're probably right. Naruto gave the man a hard look. You know where her family's home is, don't you? Perhaps, the headmaster admitted. But I have no intention of telling you. He looked at Naruto calmly with his glowing eyes. Do you intend to threaten me now? Looking at the man, he carefully thought it over. No, he said slowly. I still have 6 days to find her and I have other possibilities in mind. I'd rather not make you my enemy if I can avoid it. He slowly smiled. If you won't tell me what I need to know, would you be willing to give me help in a different form? That would depend. What is it you want? Naruto told him. The headmaster shook his head slightly. You don't ask for much, do you? He said, unbelieving. I know I'm asking for a lot, but look at it this way. I am going to find Mocha and get her back no matter what. If you were to help me, it might keep the body count down. The headmaster paused as he thought over Naruto's request. I will give you what you ask for, but I want something in return. Name it, Naruto said instantly. I intend to retire in the next few years. I would like you to be my successor. What? Naruto gawked at him. You've got to be kidding me. Not at all, the headmaster replied calmly. Whoever replaces me will have to be a being of great power in order to maintain the order and peace of this school. The raw power within you definitely makes you a candidate. Also, despite your penchant for violence, I have kept a careful eye on you. Your deep concern not only for Mocha but for your other classmates leads me to believe you might handle the responsibility of being headmaster well. Even though I expelled you, I think you would do well. What say you? Naruto stared at him. You're actually serious? Yes, I usually am. Naruto grinned. If you trust me to succeed, how about you trust me with Mocha's location as well? The headmaster shook his head. I am resolved not to hasten this confrontation. All right, how about you also give me the use of one of the buses? The headmaster paused, but finally nodded. Agreed. He held out his hand. Though the idea of his running a school for monsters struck him as bizarre, Naruto took the hand and shook it. It's a deal. XXXXXXXXXX. You've been here before, so you know how things work. The bus driver said. Naruto nodded. Yeah, I know. There was a third person on the bus and he looked over at Naruto with a sour expression. Once again Naruto-sama, may I say this is not a wise course of action. Those people are not to be trusted. Naruto looked over to the other man with a slight grin. Not at all like you, Hakuyu. My loyalty to Lord Kyuubi is absolute, the Yukai Kitsune said stiffly. Well that's nice, so just as long as he is stuck inside my guts I guess you're loyal to me, right? Of course, Kyuubi replied. You have my complete faith and devotion. Right up until the moment you reach the nine-tail state and the Great Lord is able to devour you. I can't tell you how comforting that is to hear, Naruto said with a straight face. Again, let me beg you to not turn to these people for help. Give me and my fellow Kitsune a little time and we will find what you are looking for. I only have a little time, Naruto said. I can't afford to just wait around. I was hoping that you would know where the vampire secret world was located. As I have already explained Naruto-sama, there is no secret vampire world. They are solitary creatures and very proud. They are not the sort to make the SS necessary to build a real community. The only thing they respect is power. They maintain what associations they have only out of fear of their 5 elders. 5 elders? Naruto asked. Vampires are too proud to have a single king or absolute ruler. Instead the 5 oldest and most powerful among them share power in a sort of ruling council. They don't actually come together very often, even their leader are very independent-minded. But when they do meet their laws and decrees are absolute. If they don't have their own secret world, then where do they live? Anywhere and everywhere, Kyuubi shrugged. You will find them scattered throughout most of the hidden yokai worlds. There are vampire strongholds in the worlds of goblins, kobolds, orcs, trolls, and many others. They mostly keep to themselves and avoid contact with the locals. Usually the local population is not too keen on having them around either and is just as eager to avoid contact. But, by far and away most vampires live in the human world, carefully disguising themselves to avoid notice. Mocha's family could be located anywhere. Naruto grinned. So are there any in the world of Yukai Kitsunes? No, Kyuubi said smugly. The Great Lord would never tolerate that. The bus exited the long tunnel and emerged on a high plateau. We're here, the bus driver called out. He opened the door and his 2 riders shuffled forward. Please watch your step as you exit. I will be parked here when you are ready to go. Naruto and Kyuubi were both in human forms with Naruto dressed in his ninja outfit and Kyuubi wearing his police committee uniform. When Naruto stepped out onto the ground nothing of note happened. When Kyuubi did so his body was consumed in white light. He transformed into his final form. He was a few inches taller with a pair of fox ears and 4 fiery tails. The bus was parked right on the outskirts of Azkara. There was a large sign right there. Let no lie be spoken. Let no deception stand. Let your wish be fulfilled. Let the price be paid. Have you ever been to the world of the Jinn before? Naruto asked. Of course not, Kyuubi said. What use would I have for such a pack of thieves? He walked past the sign without even looking at it. So far as I can tell they keep all their bargains, Naruto pointed out. You can steal without breaking a promise or telling a lie. I will not deny they are scared thieves. Well, whatever you may think the Jinn have their uses. They were heading into the crowded city. As they did so most of the people walking the streets gave them a wide berth. Their attention drawn not to the human but to the fire-tailed kitsune. As does their world and its unique properties. He smiled at Kyuubi. Kyuubi, would you tell me what you really think of me? The Yokai Kitsune grinned and was going to tell Naruto just how much he admired and respected him. I think you are a wretched thief who somehow stole the Great Lord's power. I would like nothing better than to cut out your living heart and eat it as you watched. A look of pure horror covered Kyuubi's face. That was not what I meant to say. Obviously, Naruto replied. And what is your ultimate plan for getting rid of me and freeing your precious Kyuubi? There is no such plan. I wish only to serve you. That was what he intended to say. The plan is that when you achieve the 9-tail state you will have to transform into a full Yukai Kitsune in order to withstand the massive chakra that will flow into your body. At that point the Great Lord Kyuubi will fully emerge and you will be utterly consumed. You will only exist as an annoying memory of the Great Lords. I see, Naruto said. And what would you and the other Yukai Kitsune do if after the final transformation I was the one still around and Kyuubi was gone for good? We would have no choice but to accept you as our lord and ruler. You would rule over us as the Great Lord Naruto. But that could never happen. The Great Lord Kyuubi will extinguish you like a candle flame. Kuyu bit down his teeth. What are you doing to me? He glowered at Naruto. Nothing, Naruto answered truthfully. Nothing but asking questions. I have just one more. When I gain the 9 tails, will the Yukai Kitsune really accept me, or will they try and assassinate me to have me replaced? We do not kill our own, Kuyu said. And to rebel against our lord would be an unthinkable crime. If you wield the 9 tails, then you are the one and only great lord, and all Kitsune shall serve you, forever. Naruto smiled. I like the sound of that. Kuyu stared down at him as he continued to follow. Naruto knew exactly where he wanted to go, it seemed. What do you intend to do to me? Are you going to kill me? No, Naruto answered. I was always sure you planned to betray me. I just never knew how. I don't intend to punish you in any way. But why, when you now know what will happen when you achieve the final state? Naruto looked at him over his shoulder and gave him a very cold smile. Let me tell you something, you arrogant bastard. I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to get Mocha back, I'm going to get revenge on the people who wronged me, and then I'm going to live a long and happy life with Mocha-chan and our kids. That's what my future holds, and I won't let anyone or anything keep it from happening. That includes Mocha's dad, you, Kyuubi, all of Konoha, and Kami too. Nothing is keeping me from being with her. Kuyu stared back at him, a little impressed by his passion and determination to be with his mate. Still, whatever you believe, the Great Lord will devour you when the time comes. Naruto turned his head back to the front. I know that's what you truly believe, but that doesn't make it so. The same applies to what you believe, Kuyu said haughtily. Well then, there's really not a problem, is there? What do you mean? Well, either I'm right or you are. I am at 7 tails now. I should get to 9 before too much longer. When the time comes, we'll find out who has it right. In the meantime, you'll continue to obey me, correct? Yes, Kuyu said with a discontented sigh. XXXXXXXXXXX. Melza recognized him immediately and made a huge production of welcoming him to his shop. Thanks, but I'm a little pressed for time. Can we get down to business? The Dijin merchant smiled and nodded. Of course, how may I help you? You served Mocha's father, right? That is how Mocha knew you, right? Yes, Melza said proudly. I am indeed one of Lord Akashia's acquaintances, and dare I say, compatriot. Whatever, I need to know where Mocha's family home is. Melza hesitated. He had the information and was eager to make a profit, but his survival instincts told him to be wary. Why would you have to come for me for this information? Why not simply ask Mocha? Mocha has been KPED by her family. It seems her father means to marry her off against her will. Naruto knew he couldn't lie, so did not see any point in trying to disguise his purpose. I plan to go there and get Mocha-chan back. Get her back, the blue-skinned merchant said nervously. You don't mean to try and take her back by force, do you? If I have to, Naruto answered. I'll give her father a chance to hand her over to me peacefully. But if he doesn't, I'll do whatever I have to. Melza looked at him. Young man, I would like to continue to do business with you in the future. He spoke slowly and seriously. Therefore, let me give you some free advice. Free? Kuyu sounded disbelieving. When has a Dijin ever given something for free? Melza grinned slightly. Whenever not doing so would cost more. Lord Akashia, who you are planning to challenge, is one of the 5 vampire elders. His power is greater than that of any being below a demon lord or Shinigami. Naruto smiled. Well then, it's a good thing I happen to have the power of the demon lord Kyuubi inside of me. Naruto-sama, Kuyu said. You have access to only a fraction of the great lord's power. Even with 7 tails you would be no match for a vampire elder. Melza nodded. Listen to your friend. Were you to challenge Lord Akashia, your death would be the only possible outcome. And far worse, it might cause my death were he to learn I had any part in aiding you. Whatever happens, I won't mention your name, I promise. Naruto said. And I'm ready to pay any price you want for the information. Melza sighed regretfully. Under different circumstances those words would be sweet music to my ears. But I am afraid the risk is too great. One cannot enjoy a profit if the cost is one's own life. Naruto glared at him and sent some intent his way. Listen, you little maggot, sell me the information or I will S you apart. Naruto-sama, it's not wise to threaten violence here, Kuyu warned. The Dijin have their own way of dealing with violent customers. What are they going to do? Arrest me? Beat me up? Melza let out a regretful sigh. I am truly sorry to do this, I would have liked to have worked with you in the future. The Dijin pointed a single finger at him. You are banned. XXXXXXXXXX. Naruto suddenly found himself standing at the spot where he had originally arrived. The bus driver was standing outside his bus enjoying a cigar. What the hell? Realizing he had been teleported away, he headed right back toward Azkara, determined to ring the little merchant's tea until he answered. The moment he passed the sign, he found himself right back at the same spot next to the bus. Growling, he worked a shunshin, only to find it would only move him a few feet to right in front of the sign. Don't bother, the bus driver called out. It looks like you've been banned. Congratulations, it's next to impossible to actually get yourself banned, but I guess you managed it somehow. What do? I need to get back in there. The bus driver shook his head. You can't do anything, once you're banned it's permanent. You'll just have to depend on Kuyu to get whatever you came here for. Kuyu did not return until an hour later. When he did, he explained to an irate Naruto just why he had taken so long. I knew you would still want the information, so I decided to go to different Dijin and see if any of them would be willing to bargain with me. Kuyu said. I visited 10 different shops, and they all seemed to know what I wanted before I even opened my mouth. They all gave me the same answer. None of them will sell you the information for any price. Naruto wanted to call Kuyu a liar but knew what he'd said had to be the truth. Naruto shouted. Fine then. We'll get the information somewhere else. He turned and headed back to the bus. Where? Kuyu asked. You said there are vampires scattered through all the yokai worlds and the human world as well, right? True. Well then, we'll just go straight to the source and talk to some vampires. Naruto smiled evilly. I'm sure I can persuade at least one of them to tell me what I need to know. As he climbed back onto the bus, the driver looked at him. Back to the academy? No, Naruto answered. We'll be going to the human world, I'm going hunting. He was running for his life. Through the woods, beneath the moon's light he ran. He didn't know where they had come from or who they were, he only knew he had to get away. He didn't have a destination in mind. He was just running as fast as he could away from them. He came into a clearing in the wood. Without warning they leapt out of the trees, dozens of them. Men dressed in black, with their faces and heads covered. They were human, they had to be human, he could tell by their sense. But they were faster and stronger than any ordinary humans could possibly be. They held knives in their hands but made no effort to attack him. Instead they surrounded him as more and more of them poured into the clearing. He looked all around, desperate for a way past them. Do you know who I am? He shouted at them. Do you know what I am, humans? He stared at them with his red eyes and sent out clear intent. That was usually more than enough to send humans running away in terror. But these men didn't even seem to notice. One of them answered him, sounding anything but impressed. Your name is Boris, and you're a weakling little vampire. You may scare the locals in this corner of Hungary, but you're not much of a monster. He let loose a bloodthirsty howl and rushed forward to attack. He caught the nearest one with an open-handed strike, using his long nails to S into his F. But rather than being rewarded with the sight of blood, his enemy just disappeared with a puff of smoke. What foul sorcery is this? He shouted. They did not bother to answer, and so he rushed forward to attack again. He struck a couple more and these too disappeared in puffs of smoke. Despite having weapons, they made no attempt to attack him. Rather, they seemed satisfied just to keep him surrounded and cut off. Enough of this. He heard an angry voice come from behind. He also felt a powerful demonic aura, much stronger than his. He turned to see a figure rushing at him, dressed in the same black clothing and with his face covered. But this one wasn't human, he was surrounded by a demonic aura, so powerful aura it was visible. And he could see the man's eyes, which were not covered by the mask, they were red instead. That was all Boris had time to notice before a fist set into his face and sent him crashing into a tree and through it. XXXXXXXXXX. When Boris woke up, he found himself chained to a tree in the clearing. The small army of black-clad humans that had chased him from his castle were all gone. But the one who had the demonic aura was standing over him. This one wasn't human. If the eyes and aura were not enough to prove that he could smell fox on him. Who are you? Why have you attacked me? Never mind who I am, the man told him coldly. As for why I attacked you, I need information. Now we can do this the hard way or the easy way. He calmly removed a canteen from his belt and unscrewed it. Boris's eyes were drawn to the canteen. What is that? Despite not wanting to, he ended up sounding fearful. The man chuckled. This. He gave the canteen a bit of a shake and cum water sloshed out. Oh, nothing, just some nice pure spring water. Are you thirsty? He held the canteen out to him and Boris instinctively pressed himself against the tree trying to avoid it. No. Please no, I don't want any. Or, what's wrong? The man sounded amused. Don't tell me the big bad vampire is scared of a little water. That was exactly the case. Boris stared fearfully at the water. What is it you want to know? Just one thing, the man said reasonably. Tell me what I want to know and I'll leave you be. All I want is the location of Lord Acacia's home. Boris stared at the masked face. Lord Acacia, the Elder. That's right, tell me where he lives and I'll be on my merry way. Otherwise, he poured a little water out onto the grass right next to his prisoner. Boris squirmed within his chains. I don't know, he said terrified. I've never even met any of the 5 elders. How would I know where any of them reside? So you have no idea where he is? The man said in a steady tone. I don't, I swear it. I see, the man said calmly. Well then, hard way it is. He took his canteen and began to pour it out over the vampire's head. The moment the water touched his skin, Boris began to howl in pain. Energy actually crackled and sparked through the air like small charges of raw electricity. It was the energy of his demonic aura being forcibly drawn out of him by the purifying water. Naruto ignored the pitiful screams and did not stop pouring until every last drop was out of his canteen. When it was finally empty, he tossed it away and looked down at his writhing and pathetic prisoner. Now let's try this again. He was eager to get to it. There was no more time to waste. This was the last day and he had to get the information. XXXXXXXXXX. Mocha stood there as lifeless and still as a mannequin. She had on her blood-red wedding gown. The drow seamstress was busy with the final alterations. Her father was keen to have everything go smoothly tomorrow. I am going to be married to Kento tomorrow, she thought dully. And after the ceremony he and I will. She shook her head and refused to think about that. It was just too revolting. For the past 6 days her darling fiancé had been trying everything he could think of to get an early start to their nuptials. He gave her flowers, asked to take her for walks, tried to sneak into her room, and had even tried to kiss her. When he had done that, she had been forcibly reminded of Sasuke and sorely tempted to handle things the same way. But rather than neuter him, she'd satisfied herself with just beating him unconscious while telling him to know his place. The spineless coward had gone to her father to complain. When her father had summoned her to his chambers, she had explained that she would do. After we are married, I will perform my wifely duties, she had informed her father. I'll shut my eyes and bear it as best I can, but I am not going to endure that until I have to. If he doesn't like it, he can find someone else to marry. She had expected father to be upset with her defiance, but instead he had actually seemed pleased by it and agreed there was no reason for her to do anything prior to the ceremony. You make me proud, daughter, her father had said. You have a strong will to go along with a sharp mind and powerful body. He had actually smiled at her then. I expect your children will be truly fearsome. Seeing his approval, she had made one last desperate attempt to change his mind. Father, if you think so well of me, then please, let me choose the father of my children. Naruto is no ordinary human, he is amazingly strong and has the power of a demon lord locked inside him. Together our children would. No, he had cut her off. His good mood had evaporated and he looked at her stern and unforgiving. A human is still a human in his mind, no matter how much power he may gain. Besides, in my journeys in the human world I knew a few like him. The humans call them Jinchuriki, and they're always sad and pathetic creatures despite their power. They grow up despised and feared by their own kind. They always end in being consumed by rage or by loneliness, and some simply go mad. I will not allow such a creature to father the children of my trueborn daughter. XXXXXXXXXXX. And that had been that. Her father had refused to listen to another word on the subject. So tomorrow she would marry Kento and go off to live with him. She had no choice, and so she would bear it as best she could. In time perhaps she would grow used to it. And she would love her children, she was sure, no matter how she might loathe their father. In time it would be all right, surely. Why are you crying? The seamstress asked. Mocha wiped her cheeks. She hadn't realized what she had been doing. I was thinking about my impending marriage. So the tears of joy. Of course, she said sadly. What else could they be? XXXXXXXXXXX. Please, no, no more, a weary and beaten Boris pleaded. I swear I don't know where the elder lives. His tormentor glared down at him. I believe you, the words came out with an effort. After hours it was clear his prisoner was completely broken. The story had not changed from the beginning, he was simply ignorant. I guess I may as well end it now. Boris saw him lift up a hand and he closed his eyes, hoping it would at least be quick. His interrogator could see him trembling. You know, you really are pretty pathetic for a monster. There was a sickening crunch, and Boris flinched, but he felt no pain. When he finally opened his eyes he was all alone and the chains holding him had been severed. XXXXXXXXXX. A supremely angry and annoyed Naruto returned to the bus where the driver and Kuyu had waited the entire time. One look at Naruto's stride told Kuyu all he needed to know. This one didn't know either, did he? Naruto glared at him. Just how the hell do they not know where their leaders live? In Konoha you had better believe everyone knew where the Hyuga mansion and the Hokage tower were. Kuyu shrugged. If they lived in their own secret world they probably would know. But since they all live separately, and they all value privacy, it's not surprising it's not common knowledge. Naruto could only growl. It was so damn frustrating. He'd spent the last 6 days crisscrossing the globe tracking down and interrogating vampires. But none of them had known where Lord Akashia's home might be. Despite all his efforts he'd come up with nothing. And now he was out of time. According to why Kokoa had told him Mocha would be getting married tomorrow. He knew he had to stop it, but how could he do that without knowing where to go? Come on, we have to go. He stepped on the bus followed closely by Kuyu. So where do you want to go next? The bus driver asked. I have reports of vampires in London, Kuyu said. He'd brought along a list of vampire haunts throughout the human world. He'd been the one to give Naruto his targets. No, Naruto said harshly. I can't waste any more time with these damn idiots. He turned to the bus driver. Take us back to the academy. The bus driver nodded and closed the door. If you're thinking about asking the headmaster again, I'm afraid you're out of luck. He left the campus on an indefinite journey shortly after you set out. Naruto grunted. He had been thinking about that. I'm going to get Yukari's personnel file and see if I can find her. Maybe she has a spell that can help me find Mocha. That seems like a slim possibility, Naruto-sama. Kuyu said. It's better than wasting more time with SNs. I'm almost out of time. Do you have a better idea? Kuyu shook his head. Then let's get back to the academy as fast as we can. All right, the bus driver said jovially. XXXXXXXXXX. When the school bus returned to the academy parking lot, there was figure standing there waiting for them. Naruto recognized her as Kito, the rather stern-looking girl who acted as Kuyu's right hand within the student police committee. She sent Naruto a hard look and instead hurried up to Kuyu. Naruto ignored her and started to head for the headmaster's office when Kuyu called to him. Naruto-sama, it seems someone has been wanting to talk to you for the last 3 days. I don't have time now, he called back, not breaking stride. You might want to talk to her, Kito called out. It's not often a vampire is so patient. He stopped in his tracks and turned around. A vampire. XXXXXXXXXX. She was waiting for him in Kuyu's office. A woman in a scarlet cloak with a hood covering her face and hair. When Naruto, Kuyu, and Kito entered, she rose gracefully up out of the chair she had been sitting in. She turned towards Naruto. At last, she said. I have been waiting a long time to talk to you. When he'd heard a mysterious female vampire had come here looking for him, he'd had hopes, of course, that it was Mocha. Failing that, he'd hoped it might be Cocoa with another message for him. Tasting the air, he knew immediately that she was someone else. Her scent was completely unfamiliar to him. Who are you? He demanded. Do you know where Mocha is? The woman stood perfectly still. Could we talk alone? Naruto immediately turned to the other two in the room. Leave us. Kito bristled not only at the words but the tone behind them. This is Kuyu's office, you don't. Naruto looked directly at her. Leave us. Kuyu recognized that look and quickly guided Kito and himself out of the office. As soon as they were alone, Naruto focused completely on the mysterious woman. All right, who are you and why are you here? She spoke slowly and deliberately. I have been wanting to meet you for some time, Naruto. I have gotten letters about you and have been very curious to find out exactly what sort of man you are. I do wish though we could have met under better circumstances. She's gotten letters about me. Is she some sort of spy? I think I should warn you, I am in absolutely no mood to play games. The woman I love is about to marry someone else and I am almost out of time to stop it. And just what would you do to stop it? She asked curiously. Anything, he answered immediately. Anything. Yes, anything. He snapped. I love Mocha-chan with all my heart and I am ready to do anything to get her back. Would you even risk almost certain death? Of course, he said as if that were nothing important. She's the only one I truly love, there's nothing I wouldn't do to be with her. I'd rather trying to get her back than live without her. A soft sigh escaped her. Ah, you really are like the letters said, I'm so very glad. Oh. K. Who are you? Well, my maiden name was Baramai. She reached up and pulled down her hood. But my married name is Acacia. Acacia. He was staring at her. She was a beautiful woman with long pink hair and green eyes. And she had a gentle smile that he was completely familiar with. Around her end was a collar with a Rosario attached to it. Even though he had never laid eyes on her, her face was very familiar. There was absolutely no denying the family resemblance. That's right, Naruto, I am Acacia Mai, Mocha's mother, please call me Carson. Now we have much to talk about and little time. That will be all for this video. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, and comment down below for more videos. Goodbye.